I was 12 years old in the summer of 1994. That was the year I learned that some places, they don't want to be found. And some things, once you see them, they never really leave you. There were 4 of us back then: me, Danny, Lucas, and Tommy. We grew up on Maple Street, in one of those small towns where nothing ever happened. The kind of place where your biggest worry was making it home before the streetlights came on. That summer, Danny heard a rumor from his older brother. About 2 miles past Miller's Creek, deep in the woods where the old lumber company used to run, there were abandoned train tracks. And not just tracks, but old train cars, just sitting there, rusting, forgotten. Danny's brother said the trains had been there since the 60s, said the company went bankrupt overnight, just left everything behind. Workers, equipment, trains, all of it. We didn't believe him, of course, but we had to see for ourselves. It was a Thursday morning when we set out. I remember because my mom had just made pancakes, and I told her I'd be home by lunch. I wasn't. The walk through the woods took longer than we expected. The trails we knew ended about a mile in, and after that we were just pushing through brush, following Danny's compass. Lucas kept complaining, said we were lost, said we should turn back. But Danny was determined. He always was. It was Tommy who saw it first. "Guys, look." Through the trees we could see it. A clearing. And in that clearing, stretching out like the spine of some dead animal, the tracks. They were covered in rust. Weeds had grown up between the rails. But they were there. Real. Just like Danny's brother said. We followed them deeper into the woods. That's when we found the train cars. There were 6 of them. Old cargo cars, the kind you see in black and white photos. Their paint had peeled away decades ago. The metal was orange with rust. Some of the doors hung open. Others were sealed shut. We should have been excited. We should have been celebrating. We'd found it. The place no one believed existed. But standing there, looking at those cars, none of us said a word. Something was wrong. I couldn't explain it then, and I'm not sure I can explain it now. But the woods around us, they'd gone quiet. No birds, no insects, nothing. Just us, and those trains. Danny was the first to move. He walked up to one of the open cars and pulled himself inside. We followed. Because that's what you did when Danny led. The inside smelled like rust and rotting wood. There were old crates stacked against one wall, a metal barrel in the corner, and on the floor, children's shoes. 3 pairs, small, covered in dust. Lucas made a joke, said some kids probably just left them there, exploring like us. But the shoes were arranged, neat, in a row, like someone had placed them there, carefully. Tommy wanted to leave. I could see it in his eyes. I wanted to leave too. But Danny found something else. In the corner of the car, half hidden behind the crates, there was a metal box. Old, rusted, but the latch still worked. Danny opened it. Inside there were photographs. Old Polaroids, faded and yellowed. Pictures of children, standing right where we were standing, in this exact train car. 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, smiling. The photos weren't dated, but from their clothes, they looked like they were from the 70s, maybe earlier. Danny flipped through them. The kids exploring the trains. The kids sitting on the tracks. The kids waving at the camera. And then, the last photo. It was the same 4 kids, but they weren't smiling anymore. They were standing in a line, facing the camera. Their faces were blank, empty. And behind them, barely visible in the shadows of the train car, there was a 5th figure. Tall, thin, standing in the darkness where the flash couldn't reach. I couldn't make out features. None of us could. But we all saw it. A shape that shouldn't have been there. That's when we heard it. A sound, coming from outside, from further down the tracks. Metal on metal, like something being dragged. We froze, all 4 of us, listening. The sound stopped, then started again. Closer this time. Tommy bolted first, then Lucas. Danny grabbed. We ran until our lungs burned, until the trees thinned out and we could see Miller's Creek in the distance, until we were back on familiar ground. When we finally stopped, gasping for air, Danny still had the photos clutched in his hand. We looked at them again, in the daylight, away from that place. The figure in the last photo, it was gone. I'm not talking about faded or hard to see. I mean gone. The photo now just showed the 4 kids standing there, nothing behind them. Danny swore it was there before. We all saw it. We all did. But the photo said otherwise. We never told anyone what happened that day. Who would believe us? We barely believed it ourselves. Danny kept the photos hidden in his room, said he was going to figure out who those kids were, what happened to them. 3 weeks later, Danny moved away. His family left in the middle of the night. No warning, no goodbye. His mom told my mom it was for work, but Danny's dad had the same job for 15 years. I never saw Danny again. Lucas stopped hanging out with us after that summer. He got quiet, distant. His parents sent him to a therapist in the city. He never talked about the tracks again. Tommy was the worst. He started having nightmares, waking up screaming about trains and children and something in the dark. His parents found him sleepwalking one night, 3 blocks from his house, walking in the direction of the woods. He kept saying the same thing over and over. They're still waiting. They're still waiting. Tommy's family moved to California the next spring. I got 1 letter from him 6 months later. Just 3 sentences. I still hear it sometimes. The metal dragging. I don't think it matters how far you go. That was the last I ever heard from him. I'm 42 years old now. I have a wife, 2 kids, a normal life in a normal city, far away from that small town. But sometimes, late at night when the house is quiet, I hear it too. Metal on metal, distant, getting closer. I went back once, 10 years ago. Drove 4 hours to that town, hiked into those woods. The tracks were gone. The train cars were gone. Just an empty clearing, like nothing had ever been there. I asked around town, showed old-timers the location on a map. They all said the same thing. There were never any train tracks out there. But I know what I saw, what we all saw. And sometimes I wonder about those children in the photographs, the ones with the empty faces, the ones standing in front of something they couldn't see. I wonder if they wondered the same thing about us.